Hi everybody, it's about 6 p.m. here. I might be able to do some things later now because we had the time change. I'm sorry I didn't do any videos for a couple days, but between I had to get some sleep and plus the time change really messed up with me yesterday, so that's why. But I'm back on it. Okay. So, James Crumbley trial day number 3. The reason why the video is so late is because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss any witnesses, and I didn't, but I just want to make sure. Because unlike New Mexico, this court in Michigan starts on time. So there were 3 witnesses today. There was Sean Hopkins, the school counselor. There was Nicholas Ejak, the dean of students, and there was Brett Brandon, the special investigator for with the police. Okay, so I just have to say something. First of all, okay, well, the witnesses are dressed a lot better than the last trial, and unlike the last trial I covered, which was the Rush trial, I actually believe some of these witnesses. However, I'm starting to learn that every trial I do, I don't like one party or the other party, and for different reasons, but it always happens. Last time it was I didn't like the prosecutor's voice. Um, this time it's the defense attorney is very leading in her questions, and she basically answers the question for the witnesses before she asks it, and then I feel like the judge is doing more of her job than she is because she'll try to ask a question, right? And the judge will say, what do you mean by that? Or specify. And I'm like, you're supposed to be a lawyer. You're supposed to know these things. It's just very odd to me. And also she does this thing that the prosecutor did from last time, which is let me go back. Okay, first of all, let me say this. Those will probably be evident through every other trial I ever do now. But I hate when somebody says, can I go back? Because here I am trying to loop along with the story, and then you say, let me go back, and I'm like, what? What are we going back for? Yeah, so, and then she asked questions that the witness, couldn't even answer the question. So I feel it makes me question how long has she been a lawyer, number one? And why does she not know how to ask questions? I mean, assuming this is not her first trial, didn't you pick anything up after all the trials you've been through? I think I've talked about this before, but the affect of James Crumbley is completely different than Jennifer Crumbley. Completely different. Which I like. I mean, he seems to be remorseful when he should be and very appreciative when he should be. Like, all his moods match what I think they should be. So I think that's going to go in his favor, but if it goes south, it's because the attorney isn't doing her job properly. And I hope to God she doesn't do what Shannon did, which is talk about herself all during the closing. If she does that, if this one does that, I'm out. Which is really funny. I mean, I know a little bit of the backstory just because I paid close attention with the first Crumbley trial, but the attorney, I don't know. Apparently that one, Shannon, had been an attorney for 16 years. This one I'm not sure of. But she was starting to talk about herself, and it was very odd. And to the point of like TMI and way TMI. Oh, I sat there going, "Where are we going?" And on this one, I'm starting to say that too, but I'm sitting here screaming at the screen, going, "Could you just answer the question? Please ask a question." So, but I don't know. It seemed to be besides that, it seemed to be that everybody else was passing blame to somebody else because okay, the although the counselor did take accountability for his part in it, but he did say that he didn't have the value of hindsight yet, so he had to focus on what information he was given at the time, which I understand that. And he didn't pose the shooter didn't pose a threat at the time, and he didn't think that he would pose a threat at the time. Whereas the dean of students kind of blamed the school counselor because he said, "Well, that's not my area of expertise. You know, that's more for the counselor to figure out." And then the special agent or whatever, he was just more about. I guess they talked to him because he's the head of ATF, you know. So he talked about the gun, obviously, and he said if you listen to James Crumbley's language when he's talking about the gun or when he was talking about the gun, the way he talked and the way he pronounced the name of the gun, the specific gun, you could tell that it wasn't for him. So that was kind of intriguing to me because I never thought of it like that because I'm kind of like the school counselor in this fashion. I don't know that much about guns, and it's by choice. Um, so yeah. So most of the testimony that they gave made sense, but I just didn't know if we are gonna get there. So yeah. And then also the prosecutor, I think he wasn't exactly leading, but he was the first to jump on an objection. Um, and there was a point in the morning, and I have to say I started a little late because I didn't know that they were going to start on time. Now I'm going to be on time every day. But there was one point where they were arguing both sides, and I wanted to say, you know, this should be in sidebars, and they finally said, she said, you know, can we have it? Can we come up or whatever? And then the judge said, yeah. And then whenever they come up, they turn the microphones off. So, um, I don't know. It's interesting, completely interesting. There are some evidence against the defendant that's kind of a little bit damning, but not as damning as the first trial. So it'll be interesting to see. And this is day 4, and I really don't think it's gonna go. It might go through this week, but my guesstimate is it'll be over by Friday. Because like I said in my last video, they're going through witnesses pretty quickly, and they're just and they've also deleted their witness list by a lot. So it's gonna come out, but it's not gonna take as long as 10 days or something. It might, but like it if it does go to day 10, I think it's because they have one witness that they can't, you know, fit on the schedule or something. And then it's going to be one witness and then closing arguments is my guesstimate. But I'll be here for all of it. So, oh, and thanks for the support. I really appreciate it.